Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time. Some say that Tom is like a giant among men. Others say he's a little obsessed.
I don't even have a top 10.
Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Miami Zoo and the Dice Tower as we are here talking about my top 100 games of all time as of September 2016. Well, actually this one may be posted in October, but what have you, that's when I recorded it. Now, every year I go through and I make my top 100 games of all time. It is a lot of fun for me to do, and as time goes by, people usually skip the middle numbers because you start watching the top 100, then you get to the then it's like, okay, what are the top 10? But the top 10 don't change as much as you might think. It's these middle numbers that change a lot, and it's these I think is sometimes interesting because where a game debuts. Because at this point in time, I always have the hardest time with the middle of the list, really. Going 1 through 30 is pretty easy because I love those games. Once you get to 40 through 50, at this point in time, I'm sitting there going, okay, this game, is it better than that one? Like I just did 10 great games, talked about Twilight Imperium and Age of Empires 3 and Trop Fabric, but now I'm gonna talk about games that I think are better than those. Some days of the week. Other days there might be a reversal, so we'll see. But anyway, on this top 10, I got some brand new games I'd like to talk about, so here we go. Okay, so first game on the list is number 50 here, Rum and Bones. Now this is a new game, although this game really isn't new. It actually came out last year, but the more I think about this game, the more I enjoy it. Now they're coming out with a second edition of Rum and Bones, which I hear makes the game even better. And I haven't even played that, and I still enjoy this game because I like pirate games, and pirate games are a lot of fun. And this one is a mythological pirate game. So think about skeleton pirates and all sorts of weird things. You're essentially seeing the game the movie Pirates of the Caribbean as a game. And this two-player game, which is really kind of overproduced for a two-player game with tons of miniatures and all kinds of cool things, is a lot of fun. It's based on MOBA, which is, the games like League of Legends, where the different people are going back and forth and fighting each other, and it's easy to play, it's quick to jump into, but it lets you have these heroes that run around and you have all your minions who run at the other people. I love pirates. I don't think I want to be a pirate, but I love the idea of the romanticized pirate, and this game is probably the best pirate game out there. That is Rum and Bones. And now we just did one that was on the list for the first time. Now we have one that's been on the list since the beginning, and that is Command & Colors Ancients. Now the Command & Colors series is a fantastic series. You'll notice I've already talked about Memoir 44, but this is probably my second favorite implementation. My favorite's coming up later on the list. But Command & Colors Ancients with blocks and having their stickered blocks, which, yeah, it's a pain to put it together. And some people don't like stickered blocks, but I don't mind them because when you have the whole thing set up, it looks really pretty. It gives you these chance to replay sweeping ancient battles, whether it's the Romans or the Greeks or different barbarians that they fought against, or the Persians. There's really, with all the expansions, so many battles and so much history in these. It has a heavy emphasis on leaders. It probably offers the most strategic choices of any of the Command & Colors games that I've played. It's a solid game. It's probably the best game that GMT has put out. Well, no, actually, no, there's one better. But it's one of the best games that they've put out. I really like it. When I play these things, I feel like I'm learning about history, but it also lets me play these older war game type, an older battle, and not get so caught up in all these rules. You're just putting this stuff down, and now you're playing. And the rules are not a hindrance. They are just exist to let you roll some dice and see who wins, and I really enjoy that. Commands & Colors Ancient. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at another new game that's been added to the list, and that is Star Wars Rebellion. This game came out earlier this year, and it's one of the in-a-box games. What do I mean? It's Star Wars in a box, just like War of the Ring is Lord of the Rings in a box. Star Wars Rebellion takes the original 3 movies, episodes 4, 5, and 6, and one player is playing. It's a 2-player game. It says 2 to 4, but that's garbage. It's a 2-player game. One person takes the rebellion, the other person is the Imperials. The Imperials are trying to find a rebellion's hidden base. It might be anywhere. It might be on Hoth, might be on Endor, might be on Dagobah, whatever. You get to pick at the beginning of the game where you want your base to be, and then the Imperials are trying to find it. And there are AT-ATs, there are Star Destroyers, there are Death Stars with multiple S there. There are many of the different characters from the game. Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Darth Vader, the Emperor. All this is in the game and it all makes sense. It's a somewhat lengthy game. It could take up to upwards of 3 hours, but it is an experience. When you play it, it's cinematic. The different things that happen in it really remind you of the different spots in the movies, but they might be different. This time, Kashyyyk might get blown up instead of Tatooine. Not Tatooine, Dantooine got blown up. Different planets are going to get, whatever. You know what I mean. This time it might be Chewbacca who's frozen in carbonite. There's a lot of cool aspects to this game. It's certainly one that when I think about it, I'm like, ooh, what's our next story going to be like? That's Star Wars Rebellion. Hey, it's 2 Star Wars games in a row. Now we're talking about Star Wars Imperial Assault. Now, when I first heard about Imperial Assault, I still remember they were like, it's Descent with Star Wars. Now, and this is spoiler and there's no way around it really, Descent is still higher on my list than Imperial Assault because I think the Descent universe is much more fully realized, and I kind of like that it's a made-up universe. With Imperial Assault, I like it, but I don't know. For some reason, I like the fantasy aspect of Descent better. But let's talk about the Star Wars Imperial Assault. This game just keeps getting better because they keep adding more and more content for it. And with the amount and breadth of stuff in the Star Wars universe, they're never going to run out. Now, you're going to pay out the nose for all these expansions, but really, if you just bought the base box, you have a fully realized campaign to go through. And I think that campaign would make my 60s, but the reason it's up here higher on the list is because I think that the tactical 2-player game in Imperial Assault is really well done. And when new units come out, I don't think, how are these going to fit in the campaign? Instead, I think, wow, how am I going to use these units in that tactical 2-player game? It's fast, it's simple, it's entertaining, and it gives me a pretty good Star Wars thing. And it lets you do, your own fan fiction to some degree. Oh, it's Star Wars. This time he's going up against Han Solo and Chewbacca plus Greedo. Greedo's on Darth Vader's team because we all know Greedo wouldn't work with Han Solo. But you know what I mean. There's some really entertaining moments in it. That game's pretty fast. The campaign is really in depth. It took Descent and added some cool storyline aspects to it. The whole thing is a very solid affair. That's Star Wars Imperial Assault. It's the 3rd Star Wars game in a row. What could it be? Well, it's not X-Wing. X-Wing actually isn't in my top 100, although I do like X-Wing. It's Star Wars Armada. Now, Star Wars Armada is the fleet battle portion. It's kind of interesting here that I just talked about the Rebellion, Star Wars Rebellion, which is the overall picture, and then Imperial Assault, which is ground forces. Now we have Star Wars Armada, which is the big ships, and you can have Star Destroyers and Mon Calamari cruisers and X-Wings and TIE Fighters and A-Wings, and they keep adding more and more ships. And because of the scale of this, you can add all kinds of things. I'm still waiting for them to announce a Super Star Destroyer, which is this big. And you know what? I'll be incredibly surprised if they don't. But this game just allows these big ships to kind of swing around and move and fire broadsides. It's almost like a pirate ship game, like a ship from the Age of Sail. But you also have these little X-Wings and Y-Wings and TIE Fighters all flying around and buzzing around and trying to blow up the bigger ships and each other and just causing problems. It's a really well-designed game. It's not for everybody. It takes a bit the rules aren't that complex, but once you learn more and more, you get more involved in the game. And some people aren't going to like the big ships. Some people are going to like the spinning around of the X-Wings. I like this one better. It gives me a good feel of big, massive ship-to-ship battles without being too complex like many miniature games are apt to do. Fantastic game, Star Wars Armada. Hey, it's a deck building game now, and this one actually, I keep telling people don't take so much notice on where games were, because this game was 11 last year. Now it's only 45. It's still in my top 100, and that is Legendary Marvel. Now, Legendary Marvel is still a fantastic game. I found it doesn't come to the table quite as often now, and that's actually because of expansions. It's not that they're making the game worse, it's just that I have so much Legendary that when we play it, it's like, okay, we're going to play with what heroes and what villains and what bad guy, and there's just so much going on in it. Still an amazing game, still my collection, and I love it. In fact, I just reviewed the newest expansion, the Civil War expansion, which is the best expansion for the game to come out. And that's a rare thing to say about a game when there's been like 8, 9 expansions for it. I think they've got every Marvel character. Well, okay, that's a lie, because we all know there's about 56,000 Marvel characters, but they have all the major ones, it seems, and yet they still manage to find new and fun things to do with the game. This is a highly recommended game if you like Marvel Comics, which I do, if you like deck building, which I do, if you like co-op. Yes, I know that the game is technically a semi-co-op, but almost no one plays that way. We all play full co-op, then you'll like the game. All 3 of those things combined, and it's amazing. Definitely legendary Marvel. Check it out. There's other legendary games too, Predator, Aliens. They might be, a lot of people consider them to be better games, and I can kind of see their point, but the fact is, I just love the simplicity and yet the comic book-niche of Marvel Legendary. So that's that. Now 44 is a second edition of a game. The first edition I didn't even consider putting on my top 100, didn't even make my top 200. I liked it, but I love the second edition. New to the list, Mansions of Madness. Mansions of Madness second edition is almost half video game, because you're using an app, whether it's on the phone or whether it's on an iPad or whatever you're going to use, and it randomizes it and adds a strong theming with music and different effects that will happen. In Mansions of Madness, you and a bunch of other investigators are going into a mansion of madness, or just different buildings, and you're going into these buildings and you're fighting monsters occasionally, you're finding clues, there's a story. The app comes with 5 different scenarios, and these scenarios they have the same basic storyline each time you play through a scenario, but a lot of the elements and stuff are randomized. It is the right elements of spooky, not too spooky, but it's Cthulhu spooky, added to a bunch of, hey, I'm going to go out and find new stuff. I'm going to go out and investigate, and some solid game mechanisms. Some people are already saying, well, I don't want my app, get your app out of my board game. That's fine. For those of you who have not left the building, though, this combination is stellar. It is the best current use of an app with a board game. It is incredibly fun. When I was done playing it, I was like, when can I play next? It's one of the few games that I play solo. And in fact, I need to get back to my solo campaign soon. It's an incredibly fun experience. Highly recommend it. Mansions of Madness, second edition, because that does matter. I've always loved SimCity on the computer. I love the idea of building cities, and so I'm always looking for a great city building game. Well, the best one I found so far is Suburbia. This is from Bezier Games. Suburbia is an amazing city building game in which you are building part of a city. You're building offices and restaurants and airports and residential areas, and everyone else is building them their part of the city too. And what I build in my part of the city affects your part of the city. So if I build a better restaurant after you have, then I'm going to get more people come to my restaurant. You're trying to increase fame, you're trying to increase income into your part of the city. How you place the tiles affects things around it. It has a cool top-down look to the city, and it's one of those games that every move I'm making I'm just very fascinated. How's this affecting? What are you doing? How does that affect me? And it's just some neat concepts, and as you see the city grow, there's 2 expansions. The first expansion is like an essential one. I really enjoy the first one. Second one, the one with stars, is okay. But overall, the whole, this game is, if someone says, I want to play SimCity as a board game, boom, Suburbia. I want to play a great city building game, boom, Suburbia. I want to play a fun game in general, boom, Suburbia. I just really enjoy this game. It has a unique feel to it. Definitely a lot of fun. 42 is Cyclades, or Cyclades, or however you pronounce it. I've had alternate ways told to me. And now that I've done this video, I'll probably have some more people emailing me about it. Now, Cyclades is a game about ancient mythological Greece, which is one thing that kind of, I'm already kind of in there. I like mythological Greece. Also, there's mythological Greek monsters in there. Oh, I'm definitely in now. Yeah, right, there's the Kraken and the Cyclops and all sorts of cool stuff. And it's a game where you are bidding, and it's a great bidding. It's done in the Amun-Re, Lords of Vegas style, Vegas Showdown style bidding, where you have to pick a certain number that you're bidding on. Each turn there's different things you're bidding on that give you ways to attack and maneuver. But the thing about this game is, it would not be in my top 100 without the Titans expansion. And the Titans just add so much fun to the game for me because they really change it to a different game. It still maintains a lot of things I like about Cyclades, but now it has a lot of really cool elements, and these Titans are walking around. It turns it into a little bit more of a war area control game. And I also like the C3K expansion, which lets you use the Kemet monsters and more mythological monsters. I'm so happy. And so Cyclades is just a really cool, solid game. Second year on my list. Here we go. Hey, Spyfall. Wow, do I like this game. When at first I heard about the game, I thought that sounds really intriguing. Then I played it and played it and played it, and Spyfall is moving up into one of my most played games. Spyfall is a game where everyone is sitting around a table. You have a deck of cards. You randomly pull a deck from the box. You don't know what the deck of cards is. It's a location. It might be on a submarine, might be on an airplane, might be at a boot camp, might be on the beach, might be in a church. Everyone gets a card, except one person gets a spy card. That's random. The person with the spy has no idea where you're at. Everyone else knows, hey, we're at the mall. And so you start asking each other questions, and you are trying to feel out and figure out who doesn't know where we're at. The problem is you can't be too vague about it. For example, if you're at the beach, you can't be like, is there a lot of sand here? Because then the spy might go, we're at the beach. Of course, they might also think you're at the desert too, so you never know. But you have to ask kind of vague questions that let people know, I am not the spy, but at the same time, don't give the spy too much information. Hilarious, amazing. They're coming out with Spyfall 2 later this year, which is going to have even more locations and more fun. Just, it's so exciting. I'm really glad this game exists. Spyfall. Well, that is it. Only 40 games left on the list. Yeah! And they just get better from here on out, folks. I am glad that I was able to stick a few new games in this top 10 because I'm always excited to see new stuff on the horizon, and I suspect some of these games are going to stick around for a while, but you never know, because 2017 might have even greater games come out, but we'll get to that point. Right now, we're going to move on. There's 4 more lists. I hope you come back and watch them. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. This has been my top 100 games of all time on the Dice Tower.
Thanks for watching. To see the rest of the top 100 lists, check out our website at dicetower.com, where you can also find The Dice Tower, the premier podcast about board games. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching
Tom Vasel's Top 100 Games of All Time.